Hey guys, welcome to Cineverm. We're just having a little intro episode because these episodes were all recorded previously when we were testing our equipment, so they're a little rough around the edges, but we thought we would release them anyway, so
Yeah, we say like a lot, so don't mind that. We also smack our lips
yeah.
and say a lot of dumb, unnecessary things and probably don't make sense at all, but bear with us.
Yeah. But thanks for listening. We'll be back next weekend with some more new episodes.
Watch our 8th grade episode. That's the quality we'll want to get to.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks.
Bye.
Explaining the podcast.
I will say one thing.
Are we
What?
starting?
No, well, this is like off the record, just between us or whatever.
What's up, everybody? This is Cineverm,
Oh.
chicken strip in the house,
No, we not started.
What
Oh.
up, boys?
Jack in the house, and Anthony Renteria.
Hi.
What did you want to say?
Oh, well, it was between us.
Okay, let's cut.
All right, cut. Well, I was just gonna say, I don't know. Next time, I think I need to watch it away from y'all because y'all were.
I didn't move at all.
Jack's a little too hype.
I literally didn't move at all.
Like everything that was like cheesy, Jack was like, what was the first thing that guy was like? Oh, fuck, what did he say? John Cena.
Yeah.
Every John Cena role. Jack was,
Dude, because
I
I
could
was like,
tell
dude,
Jack
this guy
wanted to
is so
make a-
fucking cheesy. It was so stupid. I didn't think his acting was good in that movie.
It was good.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't. That was one of the biggest drawbacks for this movie,
Oh yeah, okay.
personally.
Let's start, bro.
Alright.
All right, welcome to Cineverm. Spoilers.
Our boys, I ain't going to the
Bumblebee.
movie theaters no more. Because I fuck everything up.
No, it's fine. Like,
I'll just sit away
it
from
wasn't
y'all
a
for
problem for this movie, but I imagine if it was like Roma, I would have like had to leave.
Oh,
You
Oh.
know, this movie it doesn't really matter because it's like
Well, this movie
family.
also was set up like a family kid interrupt you movie.
yeah, it was way more kid friendly than I was imagining.
those remember like those like they weren't even like super funny scenes, but like everyone started laughing. Those were the only scenes I didn't laugh to. I was
What?
laughing to John Cena's spit, like in
Oh,
like
yeah.
like in
He
one
spit
scene.
so
Yeah,
hard.
that's what I turned and told Anthony. I was like, "Yo,
Yeah.
Anthony, did you notice how much spit just came out of his mouth? Because like his whole face was like blocked by balls of spit, and I don't know. It was really funny.
I think what also made it more noticeable was the lighting.
Oh
It
yeah.
was lit to where it reflected
Oh, yeah.
perfectly off his spit
Oh, yeah.
particles.
Dude,
What
that
scene was that?
great. It was like
Um,
when it was when Bumblebee and like the girl pulled up and they were like surrounding them in the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then he's like, go after them or some shit, and like he spits like if his mouth
Half a
was full of
gallon.
water, it's half a gallon. Of
No, I
just-
remember now
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you actually spit at me.
Yeah, exactly. I was
Saying,
like,
"This
I was like,
you see this guy spit? I was just like, yeah, bro.
Fuck.
yeah, I noticed I spit, but I was like, maybe Anthony doesn't notice.
No, it was like a splash.
Really?
Yeah. Because then you went
Oh,
like this, and you were like,
Yeah, dude, I was laughing really fucking hard.
Freaking John Cena to the very end when he tried to salute to Bumblebee just
Was
cracked
just so
me up.
stupid.
Yeah.
And then his face makes it look like he's always like depressed or like just really pissed.
I think he was definitely trying a little bit too hard.
I
It wasn't-
give him credit though because
Oh,
it was
yeah,
actually
yeah.
funny and it was cool. I liked
Yeah.
it.
There was a okay, so he saluted, right? Bumblebee did some weird fist.
The
Honest,
freaking
I don't
old-
know where that reference is from. Maybe
it's like
it's
an
a
80s
video
movie. It's a
or
movie.
okay, that movie, I don't know it, so personally it wasn't that
Mm.
funny to me. But what cracked me up was when they were walking away and John Cena just nodded. He was like, yeah, this is the end. Like, yeah. And then that other kid came by, I was like, he's like, the world's been saved, son, or something. I don't know. It was so cheesy to me. It cracked me up. And then I kept glancing at Jack at certain parts of the movie just to see his reaction because I just knew he was gonna get tickled by it.
Yeah.
And then other times I didn't have to look. He was already like lean forward laughing really hard.
Oh, very, very end, Bumblebee's saying goodbye to the girl.
Mhm.
And like, dude. Anyways, well, he's like driving away and he's like driving away and it's supposed to be like all emotion or whatever, and I turn and look at Chet and there's just like tears forming, and I was like, yeah, I'm not.
Nuh-uh.
I swear, your eyes never look like that. You actually look like you were about to cry. So I'm like,
Really?
yep, I'm not gonna crack a joke right now. I'm gonna let Chet cry and then we'll make fun of her later.
Nah, bro. My eyes were feeling really dry.
Oh, that's probably why. But you look like you were gonna cry, so I was like,
Nah, you would have had to see me during Roma.
You
I
cried
almost
during
cried
Roma.
in that one.
Yeah.
Dang.
I will say at the end where that guy had the sling or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. For some reason, I thought she was gonna be like, like, oh, you got hurt or whatever. And then for some reason, I imagined a joke coming out of that, like him saying, like, oh, actually, I fell down the stairs, like after
Yeah.
the whatever. But
It was the vibe was definitely set out to where they could crack jokes, those types of jokes wherever, and it would have fit.
yeah.
I
wish there was more jokes, cause I don't know. That's
I wish
Yeah.
there was less.
I wish
Well,
there was even more.
well,
'Cause
it
I
was like
enjoyed
it was
laughing.
like wanting to be two different movies. Like I could tell this guy wanted to make a basically Iron Giant movie.
Yeah.
With Bumblebee and the girl, and that stuff was like super good.
Yeah.
And then
Mhm.
and then like out of nowhere John Cena pops up and it's like Michael Bay, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like the Decepticons are super cheesy. Like I already knew, like I don't care about all that stuff. Like we already know they're coming to Earth, so why does it matter to set that up? Like it should have just been 80% Bumblebee and then the end have a fight. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, the whole time I was thinking, I was like, dude, you know what would make a lit ass movie?
What?
Would be like, fuck all the other stuff when they come to Earth and stuff. It would be so dope to start as like only Autobots and like that huge war they had in their planet.
Oh,
That would be
like
so
all
dope, like
CGI.
just the whole war. A movie about the whole war, I would watch it because I'm really into like war shit.
Oh yeah.
Like battle. That would be like super action packed.
Mm.
And then, well, eventually they lose the planet.
Yeah.
And that's why they go to Earth and then they like build their own stuff
Yeah.
there. And like try fighting back also because the Decepticons tried taking over Earth, which
Yeah.
they failed like 20 times.
We already know the ending to that.
Yeah. But
Well-
it would be so dope if it was just all battle. To
I have
me,
a question.
To me, I would like it.
Okay, after your question, I'm gonna say something about Jack's stuff.
All right, you go first. 'Cause
Okay, so I like Jack's idea. One, because I don't like how even though Bumblebee did lose his memory and he was regaining snippets,
Yeah,
he did act like a child.
yeah.
Like brand new, doesn't know how to wipe his ass, is scared out of his mind from everything, and I didn't like that. I want to see their civilization at their prime, like their top, how someone could come up with their whole society and their customs. I'm really curious as to how that would work out,
Yeah, that would be interesting because they don't really talk about their like society and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what you just remind me of?
What?
Chappie.
Yeah, that's
You know
what I was
how
saying.
they,
Like this,
like,
this could
made
have been
him-
like that one part where he started beating up the car
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and he like crushed it into a pancake. I was like, this is totally like Chappie vibes, where he takes things too far,
Yeah.
but because he's so powerful, like he thinks it's fun, like playing around with a toy, but in reality, you just crush someone's like $50,000 car.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna ask, since y'all want this full-blown CGI movie, like, do y'all even get anything out of the fights? Like, are those fights even like entertaining to y'all?
Yes.
I why
Very.
would you say yes then?
So you like the
Yes.
fight scenes were actually like still bomb to you?
Yeah.
Because
Cause
I
like
didn't feel anything from the fights.
all like the previous movies,
Yeah.
like my favorite scenes were the ones where they were going ham. Like they're like okay, so there was this Transformers Age of Extinction, there was this one scene where this one Autobot was
Yeah.
like an armory. Like this dude had a shit ton of guns. He
Yeah.
had a bunch of ammo and like he was the one in like the front lines, like
Was he the
wrecking.
chubby
Yeah,
one?
that dude. He was just wrecking people left and right, and I loved that scene. To like he keeps fighting till like he's using his cigarette, which is a bullet, as
Yeah.
like his weapon
Yeah.
to like even lower stuff, like taking off his helmet and throwing it as hard as he can to like decapitate a freaking Decepticon. Like those like fight scenes to me are like the shit. I don't know. I really like them.
I remember that scene vaguely, and it was really awesome.
Yeah. I don't know. None of these
me-
fight scenes did anything to me.
What?
Like that was when I was the most bored.
Shut up.
Yeah, because it did like.
Well,
I mean,
this movie's fight scenes weren't that good.
Well, that's what I'm
They
saying.
weren't
That's what
like
I'm
the
saying. It
other
was like trying to be too like Michael Bay Transformers. They're literally ripping limbs, ripping heads off, cutting, beheading, ripping in half. Like that fight scene probably had like 50 different ways that dude killed someone, basically, right?
Oh yeah, like they used to like rip each other.
And then
like,
this movie, you could
legs
tell
off
they
and
were
shit.
trying to tone it down. Like even the shot
And
where
you didn't like that?
no, like, but I mean, I don't like the fights, period. But it was like they were trying to keep like y'all appeased and then bring in a new audience.
Yeah.
But it seemed like it didn't do any of those well because it was trying to do two things. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. It didn't have a focus.
Yeah, because it's trying to be way more. This felt more like they were trying to bring it to PG level.
Oh yeah.
Where the other ones were full blown PG-13. The only reason it's not rated R is because these machines don't show blood.
Yeah.
But I remember one where they like ripped some dude in half, oil's leaking from his stomach or whatever.
Oh,
and then they're like, "Is this your Autobot?" And then everyone's like, "No!" And then he like rips the head off or something. I think
It was on top of a tower.
Yeah, I think it was like the first or second one. I don't know.
It was the.
But like
those are pretty violent. Honestly, I do like how they toned it down a bit, and I don't know, you might think that it was more towards PG-13, but just think of the visuals of what that is. Is it really not rated R though?
Well, it's because it's
if someone
not
would,
real.
yeah, but if someone would, for example, has never seen a movie before, right? Very rare, obviously, but it has never been exposed to any sort of fights in that manner. To see even robots punching each other would be like super crazy. And like the fact that he had chains around him and his arm flew off, the other one flew off his head, and then finally his torso was the only thing left.
But they did that in a wide shot, as you could tell.
But still, it happened.
No, I know, but if it was Michael Bay, it would have shown each limb rip off in slow-mo, and then show him explode, and then cut to a wide shot of all his limbs flying away.
Oh yeah.
Who was the director?
This was Travis Knight.
Travis Knight.
But I don't know, it was just weird movie to watch for me, because it had those two different flavors, and then like all the backstory was like pointless, because I already knew all that backstory, and I've only seen like 2 Transformers. It's like every Transformer movie, they show the planet for like 5 minutes.
Which one?
Their home planet.
Oh yeah,
they show
goes
like
back
one
to it,
small little fight scene of their planet.
Yeah.
And it always looks the same. It looks like just
It's just a bunch of like bullets
Yeah.
going everywhere.
And then I'm like, why do we keep seeing the planet? Like, it's like they're obsessed with showing their home planet. But like, it doesn't feel like anything because it's not showing anything good from their planet.
Yeah.
So it's like, what were y'all like? Why would you show a war battlefield that's the whole planet, but you're not showing anything good from the planet. So like, what do y'all miss, or what do y'all want to go home to, or what were y'all even fighting about?
They're trying to
They just show like
recreate it.
it'd be like showing a World War II movie, and it's just like one big battlefield, but they don't show
The reasons.
like why they're fighting or
Yeah.
shit like that. I don't know. It seems like a forced thing. Like, oh, we have to do a home shot, and then there's always like some military bro. This time it was John Cena.
Oh yeah, there's always
one military bro.
Oh,
I
there's
didn't
like multiple.
prefer John Cena. I like the other guy that they always have.
From the first
From the
couple
Fast and
ones.
Yeah,
Furious?
from the first couple ones. No, he's
Oh,
not in Fast
Oh,
and
I know
the
what
Furious.
the black dude from
Yeah.
Too Fast, Too
Tyrese.
Furious. Oh,
No,
yeah,
not
that
Tyrese. The other guy.
White
that
dude?
guy was
Huh?
lit in
A
the
white
movie.
dude.
I don't know what he was. He
Mhm.
tanned very well, but he was tall and he had
He had spike hair.
I don't remember. He just had a role in multiple Transformers movies and he was the leader.
Oh, okay.
Like as if he
Yeah, I
were
know
John
who she's
Cena
talking
in
about.
John Cena's place.
Yeah.
That's what he was.
Yeah.
He was only there for like first 3 movies, and then
Yeah.
they like kicked him out because he was.
It was just like all that intro stuff was so pointless to me. Like I feel like if you would have just re-edited this film differently, it would have been way better. Like if we would have just started with the girl.
Yeah.
We don't even see Bumblebee. It's just the girl. We see like the funeral of her dad.
Mm-hmm.
We get that connection. We see her work on the car in like a montage. It doesn't even have to be like complicated.
Yeah.
You're growing that relationship, and then you show the car. Everyone already knows Bumblebee is a little bug wagon.
Yeah.
You know? So boom. Like you don't have to show all this other junk before it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have her start working on that car, and then
Mm-hmm.
and then that's like the build up. That's like the first scene you see Bumblebee with her, you know, so it's a bigger emotional connection.
Yes.
Boom, Bumblebee transforms, and then everyone's confused, like, wait, what is Bumblebee's story or whatever?
Yeah.
And then he can't talk, and then since they were playing with him getting memories as she's like growing with him,
Mhm.
that could have been a memory. It could have been like a really quick PTSD flash of his getting his throat ripped off.
Mm.
Boom, that backstory is already done.
Yeah.
And you already know he landed there from somewhere, and you could have whatever, but you know, it's
you know
just
who
like
did that really well?
Who?
The Spider-Man.
yeah,
I forgot the
Spider-Verse?
whole. Yeah, Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
They did it quick, as you're
All the-
trying to
yeah.
say. Like the backstory, even though they backstoried 5 different characters, they all were so quick and so concise that it didn't seem like too much.
And you learned key things, like the only things that define them as a person.
Yeah.
You learned very rapidly.
Yeah.
And I felt like they could have saved like 30 minutes a movie, and then it would have been a way stronger connection, because it was like awkwardly paced. Like it started with the big action scene,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're on Earth, and then another big action scene, and then it's just like normal kids movie,
Yeah.
and then oh wait, big action scene, and then normal kids movie for like 10 minutes,
Yeah.
and then the final big fight scene, and you're like, what? And in my opinion, it should have been kids movie, halfway point, shit
Yes.
gets crazy, full blown Transformers movie.
Yeah.
And then now you care if she survives and if Bumblebee survives, because you've spent all this big amount of time with them, and now they can go ham and do whatever they want.
Yeah. So what did you guys think about the scene where she said, "I'm 18"?
I thought, I was surprised because I thought she was like 15 the whole freaking movie.
Yeah.
I thought her and the other dude were like just got into like freshman high school or something at the oldest.
Turns out they're old as hell.
Just
Yeah.
how they were reacting, like
Well,
even in the 80s or whatever the movie was taking place, I don't believe that they would like kiss on the cheek, you know, like still a kiss though.
yeah.
Like what?
I think in
18-year-olds are like
Hell
40% pregnant.
Whoa.
What?
No, I thought she was a lot younger because in the beginning when she was getting dressed, she had a zit on her forehead and it seemed as it was her first zit.
I took it as more like, oh, another zit.
No, I took it as my first zit. Fuck. Okay. Let me just cover it real quick. You know, at least that's what made me think that she was younger.
Yeah.
What else were we talking about?
Oh, we talked about how they were all cheesy.
No, it's okay.
Oh. I think that was it that we went over, right?
Yep.
All right, Jack, you said you had something when I left. The world is right.
Oh, anyways. It was about how, like, the movie started, and it, like, started with, like, Cybertron or whatever their world is called. And I liked, like, the intro, how they started off, like, all getting shot at and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I like that, because in all the previous movies, they never, like, went into that. It was just, in one, they escaped. Like, one ship escaped, and that was it. They never, like, actually showed how the battle was, or, like, how they were fighting.
Yeah.
And that was really cool, and then I liked how...
Didn't it also show the planet explode?
No.
Oh, never mind. Keep going.
It just, like, gets wrecked.
So this one had more home world Cybertron than the other ones?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I guess.
Okay.
And I also liked that one Autobot that went to the moon. And, no, he didn't go to the moon. He
was like Saturn moon.
Yes, only the moon. I don't know. It looked like the moon. Anyways, you know that part. And,
yes.
I liked how he was, like, super, like, quiet about everything.
Oh,
I liked it's his character, since he was over here, like, I'm, like, literally leading the rebellion. I'm not just gonna tell you whatever the fuck you want to know. And, like, they just ended up, like, wrecking his ass.
Yeah. Oh, no. That was a cool shot. The slice in half.
Yeah.
Like, that's brutal as hell.
I think he's talking about the sacrifice of the character. How, or tell me if I'm wrong, but what I liked about it was the fact that he literally took himself way far away from where Bumblebee was on purpose to make sure they followed him, and maybe he put like a signal or something.
Yeah.
And he knew when he was caught, he was going to die. And he was till the very end so loyal to his cause or whatever that he was willing to just say, this is my title, this is who I am, and I'm fighting for this.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I liked about it.
Hell yeah.
That's what
but, like, in a really shitty way, how I explained it. Che goes deep, and I'm just like, yeah, Bumblebee.
2018, bro.
Not Team
that it's like in I forgot what war movie it was. I don't know. There's a war movie where I don't know if it's American soldiers or some foreign soldiers, but I remember a film where a scene like that happened where they were being tortured, and all he said was like his last name, his rank, and then his position or something, and he just kept yelling it over and over. I don't know if they were waterboarding him, but I just remember that watching a scene like that. So that's actually really interesting. And it was like brutal, and they like killed him, and that's all he said was just the 3 informational things that you're allowed to say.
I feel like that's the only thing that would make me be able to get through a situation like that. Like, I want to say something
so I'm gonna yell.
So powerful, but I know that my body is trying to get out of this trauma that I'm going through just to survive. So I'm gonna yell my way out of my natural instinct to survive and say anything just to get out of it. And what better than what my rank is in the group that I'm in, that I really believe in. So it's like, my name is, but you know what you said. Yeah. Otherwise, I would slip up and be like, they're over there.
Están allá. Por britos.
I did not like the music in the film at all.
Dude, I didn't pay attention to the music at all. I
It
just
was
paid attention on
so-
John Cena and yeah, all the funny shit. I really didn't pay attention to anything else. I wasn't serious during this movie.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, like I was like, you know what? I'm having fun Christmas break. Fuck. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna fuck with Anthony some, and then I would be like, yo, dude, what if like Keynote 1 was like a fucking transformer? And I was just like fucking with him. He's like trying to pay attention like
Yeah,
the
like,
music
yeah.
and everything, and I'm just over there fucking with him and you.
Well, I was just confused because I was like, why does this movie, like, everyone's talking about this movie being so great, and then I'm
Yeah.
just like, maybe it's Jack killing my vibe right now, and then I'm just like trying to like,
No.
but then I was like, no, this movie's actually,
Really
No.
kids friendly. It's not
yeah.
action.
That
Well,
that film
was
was what Jack's actions were doing. What Jack's actions were like
Like, just
loose,
random- yeah.
friendly, very inviting for conversation during the movie.
retarded.
It was like that, at least for me.
yeah.
I did pay attention to the music though. It had a very generic like
Yeah, like your typical like big
Rise and
orchestra.
falls.
Yeah.
yeah.
And it was so overpowering during all the like sad scenes, like the emotional scenes. It was like dun 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 dun. And I'm just
Aw.
like, no, like this actress worked really hard to get to these tears, and then this music is just distracting. I don't know. I think like a lot of crying scenes work way better when you're hearing them struggling to breathe.
Mhm. Oh,
You know, like a good cry where you're like,
were there any quiet moments?
no, like every moment that would
It
have
was
been a
like-
quiet moment was filled with the orchestra,
Mm.
which is fine if it's a good soundtrack, but I don't know. I didn't hear anything good.
Oh.
There was actually a lot of music. Like all the action scenes had generic ass sounds. too.
Yeah.
What?
In the beginning, like everything that was going on in the movie was like loud as shit to me.
Oh yeah.
Like like really exaggerated. Like there's not that many people in the theater, or everyone's trying to be quiet. And it's like it's super intense, and I'm just over there like, damn, this shit loud as fuck. Shit.
Did you ever hear them shoot a gun and it kind of sounded like they shot it twice?
Yeah, like it would like echo and shit.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, it was really loud.
Or like just shooting a gun sounds like you shot a tank.
Mm.
It's like that's how like
Yeah.
like really exaggerated. Well, it was just really loud, but then I think they toned it down,
Yeah.
going like towards the middle.
Mm. I think it's kind of weird because you remember how I was telling you like the first 5-10 minutes, you know, like tell you what kind of movie it's gonna be,
Yeah.
and like the first 5-10 minutes of this movie was like full blown war, and then the movie is totally not full blown war.
Yes.
So now that I'm thinking back, I could feel like a lot because there was a lot of little kids in there. From what I could like feel, like little groups of kids with their parents or whatever,
Mhm.
Yes.
and I could feel the parents like thought this was a Bumblebee movie, you know, like
Aw.
because it was like.
And it shows like Optimus Prime like grabbing people like,
And the kid is probably like,
Mom.
it's really like
It's like
Bumblebee sitting on a couch, I swear.
Aw.
it's like the trailer didn't show any of this.
Yeah, the trailer was all cute Bumblebee stuff
Mm.
with his little ears and stuff.
That's something I noticed that I kept staring at. Was like,
His
you know,
ears?
like the scene where it like pans back and it's just that both of them just like standing and like looking out. I just noticed his little like antennas, and I was like,
Yeah.
damn, bro.
Oh, speaking of antennas, one really distracting thing. You know this, Jack. We live in the South, and a lot of little bebe trucks have this big antenna in the back. And John Cena pulled out a radio. The antenna was the size of his body.
And it was like just to contact like a little group not too far away from him, and he pulls out like a whole satellite tower. That was good. That was funny.
When I saw that, I laughed so hard. I don't know if you guys noticed.
I noticed, but I was like, wait, that might not be funny. But I didn't really look at you because I was like staring at Anthony. I was like, yo, is this dude laughing at something? He's just trying to like take everything in, and I'm over here the whole movie
doing your dance. Bumblebee 1, boys.
Yeah, boy. I stand up. Let's go.
You should have just stood up and just
clap, slow clap.
I would have, but then I would have been like, man, Anthony ain't gonna let me come over no more. I'm being too exaggerated.
Oh my gosh. Did you like the girl's acting though?
Yes.
The main girl's acting?
She's a good actress.
Yeah.
I did feel her acting.
She was trying. Like, in a good way. Like, you could tell she put way more effort than
John Cena
everyone else.
wasn't trying for shit.
John Cena was like, you're going to do a cheesy salute. Got it. How was that? That's perfect,
Nah,
man.
he was probably actually trying to
He was actually trying, but like, really, dude, y'all could have gotten any other dude.
Like,
it would have been cool if they would have actually
got The Rock or something. Like,
that wouldn't
No.
I was about to say they should have brought back the dude from like the first one. I was like, dude, that's not gonna make sense. that girl's probably dead as hell by now when like the first movie starts.
Yes.
So I was like, wait, I just in my mind I was like, man, you're a fucking idiot.
Oh, speaking of that, what is the timeline here?
this is the 80s.
Okay, so it's way before any of the other
like 20
ones.
years.
Okay. At some point when they were frozen, no? At some point weren't they frozen?
No, the main Decepticon was frozen.
Okay.
Because it crashed on Earth and it landed like in the Arctic Circle and it froze up. But then an idiot like turned him on again. And he started.
Oh.
Yeah.
For some reason, I assumed that either what's the main guy?
Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime was frozen, but I got it wrong.
No, he dies twice.
Damn.
I don't get any of the history. I guess the comics or the cartoon show. Have you seen any of the cartoon shows?
They can hear you. It sounds like you're jacking
dude.
off. He's over here dabbing really hard.
It's just the whole podcast is just. But I have seen some episodes of the like super old cartoon. I haven't read any of the comics, but I have seen like all the movies like 20 times.
Oh yeah, they do have
They
comics.
seem so. I mean, I don't know because I never watched or I don't know anything, but they just seem so lame to me.
I've played with the toys, dude.
Just from the movie storylines, like it's just so. Like I don't care.
You know that thing I told you when like you're playing with like a toy and you're like making all these sound effects like.
Yeah.
And like by the end of like your little play sesh, like it smells like spit. Like all my Transformer toys would like smell like ass within like an hour because I would spit so much. And like I don't know, they're really fun to play with. And it would like transform. And it was like hard as fuck to like transform them into like the robot.
Yeah. So they're like half car.
Yeah, and then transforming them back into a car took me like a month because I was like retarded as shit. So like put the leg where like the head would go, and it would look like a helicopter or some shit, but it's supposed to be like a Camaro, and I don't know. I would like fuck with it. I would get like my mom to make it for me because I couldn't do it.
Maybe that's why you're not feeling it because you don't have that personal connection with these characters from the beginning.
Yeah.
Speaking of SpongeBob.
I do like how they transform though.
Oh yes.
I feel like that would have been the most interesting part of making this movie. Is like, how can I transform them in interesting ways? Like in the movie, like there was the one scene where Bumblebee was in the house and it looked like he was on one of those what are they called? Those little
Oh yeah, the you know what it is?
Cycle,
What?
tread cycle,
You step on them and they have
moped.
wheels and you go forward and it takes you forward.
What all the kids used to use.
They're
Hoverboard.
really expensive. Hoverboard.
Yeah, like a hoverboard kind of feat. So that was
Yeah.
cool.
No, what I thought of it was like that mall cop thing where he's like that. I thought of
Yeah,
that.
that. What is that
I don't
called?
know what that's called.
Oh,
A
Mall-
moto?
a mall cop.
Paul Blart.
Paul Blart
Oh,
motor.
a big boy bike. But
Oh, I love her bike too.
Oh yeah, her bike
oh,
was dope.
that's what I noticed. I was like, dude, that's a freaking bike. She just stuck a motor on it, and it looks lit.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, Joe, we need to make one a damn when we go into like the park or something. Just
Yes.
it's like out of my
Yes.
way, kids. Like all the little kids are like paddling while you're just doing flips and shit.
How did you feel about how she was trying to fix a car first with her dad? Her dad passed away, and then at the end, she ended up having like the nicest car. I don't even know what type of that car that was.
It was nice.
But what do you feel about that?
I mean, that was cool. I guess.
That line time.
Like
6 out of 10.
the storyline.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I feel like there wasn't that much time with her to like grow all that stuff. To be honest, so I would have dedicated way more time to her whole storyline if they were gonna do it.
Yeah.
Versus all the Decepta bull crap. Like in every Transformers film, there's always like the government and then the big CIA, FBI dudes. I don't know. It was just. I felt like I was watching Transformers 2 all over again during those parts because it's like it looks like the same freaking hangar. Like they're all in a hangar. They're on the second level, looking down. The Decepticons are like do 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 do, and then it's
Or
just,
like the
It
good
seemed-
guys.
yeah,
Yeah.
It seemed like the same set.
yeah, and then it was so stupid. Even the joke was like their name is Decepticon,
Does that not bring any red flags? Bring up any red?
and I was like, you're just gonna let anyone just use all the radio? Like none of that felt.
It's like I don't
Granted.
think they would have let them do that. Just because one dude's like, yo, they're friendly.
Yeah,
And no one's gonna be like, oh yeah, dude, let's just give them all our
like
shit so
I
they
would've-
can kill us faster.
I didn't believe that would just get, or are you gonna let them go to the Russians? Do you think
That's
they even know who the Russians are?
That's one thing I was like,
one of the Decepticons pulls out a notebook. They don't like
Really, bro?
puts on a band-aid. Ooh.
No, you know what's dumb was they would whisper, they would talk about each other in front of each other. Like
Yeah.
the Decepticon was like, oh, I hate doing this.
Yeah.
It was like
And no one
the
heard?
no soldier was like, hey, sir?
They
They're
literally
totally smiling right now that we turned away from them, and they're like, we will destroy them all.
Yeah.
That's
It's like,
one thing
bruh,
I
like I can
noticed.
hear the camera's so far away and I can hear you, so
Yeah.
It's like when they like first encountered John Cena and shit. When he had like, you
Just
remember
his
that.
name,
John
John
Cena.
Cena.
John Cena. But like they were talking. It's like, can I kill some of them? And they're right there, and that's the same thing that you were saying. It's like,
so and then
No
the
can't
one
even
heard.
like hear.
then the
Yeah.
humans did it again, where John Cena and then the other guy are like, you can kill them when they're done.
He's like,
Yes,
yes, sir.
sir.
Oh,
Dude, that was bad. Fucking John Cena.
That was
I do want to talk about the lighting though.
okay. Go ahead.
Dude, it was bright as.
Yeah, in a lot of other Transformers movies, they were very dark
Oh,
compared to this one.
yeah.
Very moody and
This
Well,
one was,
it went with like what was going on. This one was just like bright as hell, like the
Yeah.
whole time.
very bright.
It was really flat too. Like it stayed at a similar level brightness, if that makes sense. So like when she was devastated, there was no like, let's make her look like she's in a darker place, or like really try to separate her from the background or foreground. Like
Like no depth.
yeah, like get that emotional mood. Yeah, I didn't like any of the. I liked a lot. There was some shot designs I really liked though.
Mhm.
Um, I really liked how he played with the focus. So
Mhm.
there'd be a scene where she's standing, and then like where Bumblebee died, and then she's in focus, like the left side of the frame, and then
Yes.
you see his head raised in the right side, but it never focuses on him,
Yeah.
and then you can't see him that clearly, just like a shape.
Mhm.
And then when he turns his head, you see the two blue eyes, but they're like
Oh.
blown out.
Yeah.
That was a cool shot.
Yeah.
And then he did it like two other times where he would like transform behind her to focus.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I really noticed in that. Well, that and some of the transformation shots. It was really weird. I thought I was gonna see more of a directing style or a shot design style.
Mhm.
It was very different from Michael Bay. Most of the shots were more static. Even the shots were like Michael Bay's known for like cars driving on the road, and then he makes them look like freaking car movie or car commercials or whatever.
Yes.
All the shots in this movie with cars driving down the road, they look so boring.
Yeah.
And like it was just like
They were definitely not flashy.
yeah, there was no movement or anything, which is fine, but it was just like something noticeable.
Mm.
And there were some other shots that I noticed like mm, he has a lot more like stationary shots, obviously, where
Yes.
Michael Bay's always moving around.
Yes.
So that was cool seeing that. But there was nothing like it's so weird. Like I guess because he comes from stop motion, maybe this was more restricted because in stop motion in animation you can do anything.
Yeah.
You can have the camera anywhere in any perspective.
Yes.
And since I think this is his first live action movie,
Mhm.
it might have been a little intimidating trying to match shots that he probably would have done if it was a stop motion movie.
Yeah.
But I expected a lot more creativity. Like when the guy who did The Incredibles and The Iron Giant and Ratatouille did the Mission Impossible movie, the shots in his I think it was Mission Impossible 4, they
Mhm.
were so different from how a live action director would shoot it, you know.
Yes.
And I was hoping something like that would happen. But
Mm.
it just seemed very like generic
Yeah.
shot designs and stuff. And the lighting, like you said.
Well, you don't feel like he might have gone into it like, oh yeah, expecting kind of to have full control of how everything
Mm.
looks because he comes from stop motion.
Oh
You
yeah.
get a chance to go through basically your whole movie can be done. You
Mm.
watch it and then kind of change it.
Yeah.
If you still have time for that or whatever, but you go through so much control
Yeah.
that when it comes to not having that control with
Mm.
actual live actors, that
Oh yeah.
it might have been kind of overwhelming
Yeah.
for the first time, and then you still have to create a whole story behind them, but
Mm.
they're not delivering or it doesn't look quite right, and then
Yeah.
you're just like, man.
You start running out of time and
Yeah.
budget, and yeah, there's a lot of constraints in real life that I imagine he wasn't used to,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you like you said you have full creative control.
Yeah.
Where the clock's ticking, and then it's like, man, do I really want this cool shot, or
Yeah.
I need to turn in a movie by the end of the day?
Yeah. Maybe at some points he just did the easier thing to do.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure what his budget was, but
Mm.
it did seem like he did take a lot of lower cost shots
Mm.
that I noticed.
Oh, this girl in the movie, the
Mm-hmm.
main actress,
Yeah.
she's the voice of Spider-Gwen.
For reals?
Yeah. I did like I don't know if it cut off during this part of the conversation, but I do like the whole like I think Jack was saying that it had some there was one part that reminded him of Chappie, and then I got some Chappie vibes when the Bumblebee was jumping on the car and stuff.
Yes.
That was a cool scene. Like I would have loved to see them do that more. Like them just hang out with Bumblebee
Yes.
and like run around the city like actual teen. Like what would you do with the Bumblebee, Jack?
Dude, I'd Fuck shit. Oh, dude, I would
A
not
bumblebee
keep it in
with
my...
no memory.
Yeah, like this dude, it's like a puppy, but it's a giant robot.
I think I would do the same thing the people
No.
in Chappie did. Like, all the gangsters taught them to do, like, whatever they were into. I would teach them, like, the stupid shit I'm into. Like,
How to
dude,
orange.
yeah, how to orange justice and shit.
Oh my
How to
God.
fuck with Dylan and stuff. You know,
Like,
I would...
5 a.m. slap Dylan.
I would be like, yo, dude, this how you pull on nighters with the boys. Come over to Ches and, like, we all die within an hour. Cause
That would be so cool. Everyone's done. Well, I kind of don't even want to say it on the air because now I think I want to write a story about what I just
Dude,
came
let's
up
write a
with.
story
Just
about
say it.
Crimson Moon.
What? Why are you holding back on this?
Well, I don't want people. It's gonna take me like 4 years to write this. Someone's gonna write it in like 2 minutes.
Oh.
Me? I'm gonna steal your idea.
I'll say it off the record.
Whatever.
All right. So what are the ratings if y'all got nothing else to say?
Ratings.
Out of 10, go Che. Shit.
I'm gonna put 5 out of 10.
So like average movie.
Yes. Average movie.
About
But it
you,
was still
Anthony?
good.
Yeah, I would actually give the same score
Why?
because it had equally bad and equally good parts. I thought the actress was the best part, but at the same time, her character was underdeveloped. But her parts were good. The whole father thing was a good thing. The diving thing I didn't really like because it wasn't implemented well. The car thing was implemented a little better, but also didn't have enough time. All the Transformer stuff, I was literally bored. Like, I don't think I've been that bored all year. But then even the cheesy kid stuff, I was like, all right, I can watch a kids movie because I didn't really grow up watching a lot of kids movie. So I was like, all right, I'm game for that. Like when we watched Teen Titans,
Oh yeah.
that was my jam. Like I was so into that movie.
You
Dude,
liked
that
all
was
the
like-
head bobs during the Superman scene.
Even their fart jokes, like I was smiling.
Like, they're, like, stupid as shit. But it was... I think that's what happened to me in this movie. All the Transformer movies, to me, are, like, action-packed and stuff. And this one went from, like, ripping Decepticons' heads off to, like...
low key ripping
like,
Decepticons.
it's like slightly ripping limbs off. You know, it wasn't what I expected. I still liked some parts, like what you said.
Yeah, I just feel like you could have had so much fun with a movie like this.
Oh yeah.
Wait, Jack didn't
I
even
would
give
fuck
his
shit up.
score yet.
I was still giving my score.
Yeah,
because
it was
you
like-
asked me.
My bad.
I was
Why?
gonna make a
I'm
joke
sorry.
about you giving your score because Ched just said like a couple things and you're like describing a bunch of shit. I was like, damn, bro, we just asked you for a quick
Oh, no,
score, bro.
Didn't you say like why? Right?
No,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
But you said it had equal good and bad.
Yeah, and I was talking about the
And
bad.
then
The Transformer stuff bored me, and then it just seems like a missed opportunity. It's like even Michael Bay, even though I didn't like his movies, he at least was like, if I'm gonna make movies about giant robots, I'm gonna go full in.
Yeah.
You know, and this movie didn't go full in on the low key kid story or the low key Transformer story. It was like worst of both worlds. But yeah, that's why I give it a 5 because it was still watchable. It's not like
Yeah.
a bad movie. I feel like if you like Transformers, it's still worth watching for like Jack is saying the action parts, but
Yes.
Or just
it's
to
not as
see it.
heartwarming as everyone was claiming it to be.
If you
Oh,
like
yeah,
John
definitely.
Cena, watch this movie.
Oh my god.
If you respect John Cena, watch this movie.
If you want to lose all respect for John Cena, watch this movie
What?
because this was gay. Like like his acting was ass. Nah, it was okay. Like I could do better, but you know, it was okay. It was all right. It was stupid.
What is your score?
Mine?
Yeah.
A 3 out of 10.
No, why so
Yeah.
low, nerd?
Nah, I would actually.
You
That's
laughed the
I would go-
Cybertron.
no, I
bro.
would go-
Cybertron.
Bro, you laughed
I
the
would-
most out of all of us.
Those...
No, I would go 5 or a 6. It's right around there. Because I laughed a lot. Because, I mean, I always laugh. But I laughed a lot. It was actually, it was it was funny to me. Because the whole time I was just making fun of John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, him spinning when I spat all over Anthony. But it was cool. So I'm rather going to give it, like, a 5 or a 6. It's around there.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. It was okay.
You know what more about the spitting part? I imagine he did it 10 times. 9, he did not spit. Just that one time. He's like, we're going with this one.
Or like the director's like, you have to act like you're actually mad. So like, just spit.
Or maybe it wasn't even the director. It was like the editor was like, I'm going to use this one just to fuck with him. No one's going to know I used the worst scene.
You right.
Except for Jack.
Except for John Cena.
Maybe the editor was like, yo, fuck John Cena. I'm going to make him look like a pig.
Whoa. Settle down,
Who
buddy.
spits like that?
Settle down.
All right. Well,
I think that would be it.
Spoilers.
For spoilers tonight,
Hope
folks.
you enjoy.
Well, boys.
Like Chelsea always says, have fun at work.
Yeah. Remember, tie your shoes.
You got
Peanut butter is awesome. I prefer crunchy peanut butter.
I don't like peanut butter. Actually.
You don't like peanut
no,
butter?
No, not that much. I mean, I'll eat some PB&Js, but not like just
by itself.
Yeah, not straight up peanut butter like Anthony.
That's what I meant.
Anyways, we'll see y'all.
Oh, you know what's really good?
I won't, but they will.
You know what's really good?
What?
Nutella. I would scoop a whole bucket full.
I would get a whole slice of that. If it was a cake, I would take a slice out.
If it was an onion, I would peel it slowly.
If I was
eat every layer.
If it was an egg, man. If it was a corn dog, man, I would suck it up so good. Anyways.
Oh, about that corn dog scene. Did you guys see her eat the corn dog?
Oh, yeah.
Like, she was trying to be seductive, but she just did it really slow.
Well, yeah, because it was, like, more kids' movie.
Yeah, but I remember Jack turned around. He was like, who eats a corn dog like that?
I was like, what the fuck is you trying to do? Are you trying to be like what you just said?
When you're trying to look like...
Whoa. But, you know, like, when she was cooking the corn dog, and, like, she, like...
It would look gross as hell.
Stuck it in, like, all that weird white shit, and just...
To me, it looked dangerous because her finger was so close to the oil.
Dude, I'd, like, when cooking and, like, all those cheese spots, you know, like, all those little oil things, like, pop out at you.
Yeah.
Like, I hate that. I get Dylan to flip the, like, chicken when I'm, like, trying to make me something because I don't want to get burned. So, you know, I'm just
tell
like...
Dylan
I'm
to
like,
do
Dylan! Come flip this shit. He's like, bet you. He's like, no. And I'm like, bet you won't. He's like, man. And he gets up and does it.
Well, folks.
All right.
Tell us, email us, do you like fresh corn dogs? Freshly made corn dogs? Do you like crunchy or creamy peanut butter?
Comment down below if you like corn dogs at all. And John Cena. Because we want to know about that.
Tell us if you lost respect for John Cena or if it went through the roof.
Yeah, follow us at our new John Cena podcast.
JohnCena.org.
Now.
That should just be like
we have a GoFundMe to support John Cena for his next role.
Aww.
It's like, dude, you need a new job.
Nah. I actually do like how he's trying different roles and getting out of his normal box.
You should blacklist him.
What? Okay, we're done.
Fuck him. Here, dude.
Thanks, dude.
Welcome, dude.
Welcome to the dude.
Here, dude.
Yeah, you guys can get that loud.
Alright. Every time I say like, slap me.
Bet.
Are you sure?
I'm down.
I think the fact that you are thinking about not saying like makes you say like more.